Welcome to FA Cup Files, ESTD 1871, where football's oldest trophy tells its greatest stories. Step into history with FA Cup Files, a tribute to grit, glory, and the birth of the beautiful game. Since 1871, legends have been made. FA Cup Files brings you the stories time tried to forget.
Several players were charged and fined accordingly by the FA, and Wenger apologised for his team's overreaction. The team restored their image with an entertaining performance against Newcastle. Henry Winter in his match report wrote, "Henry's opening goal encapsulated all that is good about Arsenal, the slick passing and intelligent movement." Wenger led his side to league triumph without a single defeat, an accomplishment last achieved by Preston North End 115 years before, in the Football League. Somebody threw me a t-shirt after the trophy was presented which read, "Comical Wenger says we can go the whole season unbeaten." "I was just a season too early," he remarked during the club's victory parade. Arsenal's run of 49 league games unbeaten came to an end with a 2-0 defeat at Manchester United on the 24th of October, 2004. The team under Wenger's management enjoyed another relatively strong league campaign in 2004-05, but finished second to Chelsea, who ended the season 12 points in front. Consolation again came in the FA Cup. Arsenal defeated Manchester United on penalties, after a goalless final. The emergence of Cesc Fabregas in the starting lineup prompted Wenger to sell Vieira to Juventus in July 2005. He noticed the two as a midfield pairing was ineffective, and felt keeping Fabregas would benefit the club's future. The 2005-06 season marked the beginning of a transitional period for Arsenal, as it was the club's final season at Highbury. The team finished fourth in the Premier League and outside the top two for the first time under Wenger's tenure. In the Champions League, Wenger assembled an inexperienced defence that reached the final, beating Real Madrid, Juventus and Villarreal and conceding no goals in the knockout stages. In the final against Barcelona in May 2006, Arsenal took an early lead but ultimately lost the match 2-1. The defeat also made Wenger the only manager to have been a losing finalist in each of UEFA's three main club competitions, having previously lost the UEFA Cup final with Arsenal in 2000 and the Cup Winners' Cup final with Monaco in 1992. 2006-2011, Stadium move and transition. In the summer of 2006, Wenger oversaw Arsenal's relocation to the Emirates Stadium. During the construction phase, he described the move as vital to the club's financial future and believed Arsenal were better able to attract the best players. Moving to the new stadium, however, presented several problems in the short term, as the club prioritised financing it over the team. Wenger sold some of his experienced players such as Campbell, Lauren and Pires, sanctioned Cole's move to Chelsea in part exchange for defender William Gallas, and integrated young players like Theo Walcott and Alex Song into the first team. His youthful team contested the League Cup final in February 2007 and were the youngest to play in a major English Cup final, averaging 21 years. They ultimately came up short against Chelsea, who won the match 2-1. Arsenal finished fourth in the 2006-07 league season. Wenger had ruled out their title chances following defeat to Bolton in November 2006. The team's lack of directness and efficiency of possession was a familiar theme during the campaign. Guardian journalist Daniel Taylor observed, 2 matches into the league season, the most watchable side are frequently the most frustrating. Arsenal are wonderfully incisive yet infuriatingly blunt. In April 2007, Dane left Arsenal due to irreconcilable differences about the future of the club. Wenger described it as a sad day for Arsenal, and sought assurances from the board over his future as well as reasons for Dane's departure. The instability at board level influenced club captain Henry's decision to leave Arsenal in June 2007, which led to uncertainty over Wenger's position. In September 2007, Wenger signed a new 3-year extension, stating that he remained committed to the club of my life. In 2021, Wenger revealed that his signing of the contract extension was his side of a deal with the Arsenal board in the building of the new stadium, because he requested its construction. Arsenal flourished in Henry's absence, with Emmanuel Adebayor, Mathieu Flamini and Fabregas playing a more prominent role in the 2007-08 season. Defeat to Middlesbrough in December 2007 ended a run of 22 league matches unbeaten, but Arsenal soon built a 5-point lead over Manchester United. A career-threatening injury to striker Eduardo against Birmingham City on the 23rd of February 2008 acted as a turning point in Arsenal's season. Wenger, incensed at the aggressive tactics of opponents, called for a ban on tackler Martin Taylor in his post-match interview. He later retracted the comment. Arsenal's form subsequently suffered, and a run of 3 consecutive draws in March allowed Manchester United and Chelsea to overhaul them as they finished the season in third. Arsenal made a troubled start to Wenger's 12th season. The club relieved Gallas of his captaincy, after he openly questioned his teammates, and Wenger appointed Fabregas as his successor. Arsenal secured 4th position in the league and reached the semi-finals of the Champions League and FA Cup, but it was a 4th season without silverware. Wenger was subject to criticism from Arsenal fans. He praised the travelling supporters, though referred to a section of the home crowd as treating him like a murderer. Arsenal finished 3rd in the league in 2009-10 and the team were eliminated in the quarter-finals of the Champions League by Barcelona. Wenger had reached a landmark in October 2009, surpassing George Alisson to become Arsenal's longest-serving manager. In August 2010, Wenger signed a further 3-year contract to continue his managerial career at Arsenal. His team were on course for a quadruple trophy haul in 2010-11, before defeat to Birmingham City in the 2011 Football League Cup final, when a mix-up between goalkeeper Wojciech Szczęsny and defender Laurent Koscielny allowed Obafemi Martins to score the winning goal. This was followed by a run of just 2 wins in 11 Premier League games, to take them from title contenders to a 4th-place finish. Arsenal then made exits in the FA Cup and the Champions League to Manchester United and Barcelona, respectively. 2011-2018, rebuilding, return of trophies, and departure. Wenger's preparations for the 2011-12 season were disrupted by player unrest. Though he insisted none of his top players would leave the club, Fabregas eventually moved to Barcelona, while Gaël Clichy and Samir Nasri joined Manchester City. Suspensions and injuries left Wenger fielding an understrength side against Manchester United on the 29th of August, 2011. Arsenal were trounced 8-2, which represented their worst defeat in 115 years. Needing to address the squad's lack of depth, Wenger completed a series of deals in the final days of the summer transfer window. He mostly brought in experienced players, such as Yossi Benayoun on loan from Chelsea, Everton's Mikel Arteta and Germany international Per Mertesacker. By October, Arsenal had made their worst start to a season in 58 years, losing 4 of their opening 7 matches. However, the team soon harmonised and, in the same month, club captain Robin van Persie scored a hat-trick as Arsenal beat Chelsea 5-3. Despite another season of no silverware, Wenger guided Arsenal to 3rd position in the Premier League, thus qualifying for the Champions League for a 15th successive campaign. Van Persie had scored 37 goals in his first injury-free season for the club. He, however, grew disillusioned with Arsenal's transfer policy and decided not to renew his contract, with 1 year remaining. When Manchester United manager Sir Alex Ferguson learnt of the situation, he called Wenger to push through a deal and Van Persie agreed to join Manchester United in August 2012. The club purchased strikers Olivier Giroud and Lukas Podolski in anticipation of the sale. The 2012-13 season was Wenger's first without Rice, who retired in late spring. Bold was named as his replacement, who specialised in defensive work. Arsenal struggled to find consistency in the league and were 12 points behind leaders Manchester United by November 2012. A month later, Wenger came under strong criticism following his side's exit in the League Cup to Bradford City, when a full-strength team lost on penalties to opposition 3 divisions below. Further cup defeats to Blackburn Rovers and Bayern Munich in the FA Cup and Champions League, respectively, ended Arsenal's trophy chances for an 8th consecutive season. Before the first leg, Wenger had criticised the media for reporting he was about to sign a contract extension, and said of the Blackburn game, "We lost it in the last 20 minutes, so there are a lot of superficial analyses that you cannot accept. Because one guy says something, everybody goes the same way." Arsenal's aim of finishing in the top 4 appeared to be a difficult task by March, after defeat to Tottenham Hotspur. With 10 league matches remaining, they were 7 points behind their rivals, and Wenger said his side could not afford any more drop points. He made changes to the side for their second leg against Bayern, dropping captain Thomas Vermaelen and Szczęsny in place of Koscielny and Lukas Fabianski. Though Arsenal were eliminated on the away goals rule, Wenger's adjustments worked in the league as his team went on a run to overhaul Tottenham for a second successive season. A win on the final day against Newcastle United secured fourth position, which Wenger described as a relief. Arsenal opened the 2013-14 season with a home defeat to Aston Villa, which prompted boos from the supporters. The club's transfer inactivity over the summer was criticised, but Wenger assessed, "We could have won the game today with the players on the pitch, I'm convinced of that." In the final week of the transfer window, he re-signed Flamini and sanctioned the club record signing of Mesut Ozil from Real Madrid, totaling £42.5 million. Wenger was instrumental in the latter deal. He phoned and spoke to the German in his native language, convincing him that a move to England would enhance his career. Arsenal's form thereafter improved and Aaron Ramsey's goal-scoring spree elevated the team to first position by the new year. Poor performances in the big games, however, blighted Arsenal's title credentials, with a 6-0 loss to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge being described as a good hiding. You don't prepare all week to experience that. The defeat marked Wenger's 1,000th match in charge of Arsenal. Arsenal consolidated fourth position in the league, and Wenger guided his team to FA Cup success, as they came from 2 goals down to beat Hull City in the final, and clinch Arsenal their first trophy in 9 years. At the end of the season, Wenger signed another 3-year extension to his Arsenal contract. He strengthened the squad by signing Alexis Sanchez from Barcelona in July 2014, who started in the 2014 FA Community Shield that Arsenal won by beating Manchester City 3-0. And during the course of 2014-15, Wenger promoted Francisco Clen and Hector Bellerin into the first team. Wenger won his 6th FA Cup in May 2015, which placed him alongside George Ramsay as the most successful manager in the competition's history. Wenger guided the club to an improved third place in the league that season, and clinch Arsenal their first trophy in 9 years. Alexis Sanchez and Aaron Ramsey. The victory represented a further record for Wenger, as Arsenal too became the most successful club in the competition's history as they won the competition for the 13th time. For days following the win, Wenger signed a contract extension until 2019. In mid-2017, Wenger brought in 2 signings, Alexandre Lacazette for a fee of £45 million, the club's most expensive signing, and Sead Kolasinac on a free transfer from Schalke 04. On the 6th of August, Wenger won his 7th FA Community Shield as manager as Arsenal beat Chelsea 4-1 on penalties following a 1-1 score at full time. However, in the 2017-18 FA Cup, Arsenal lost to Nottingham Forest in the 3rd round of the FA Cup, and again stood well outside the top 4 in the Premier League. The club also dealt with player unrest in the form of Sanchez, who voiced his desire to depart, and Wenger sanctioned a transfer to Manchester United in January 2018, whereby Arsenal received Henrik Mkhitaryan in a swap deal. Later that month, he signed Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang for a club record fee of £56 million. However, these additions did not aid Arsenal's performances as a team, and on the 20th of April, Wenger announced he would step down as Arsenal manager at the end of the 2017-18 season. His final home game was a 5-0 win against Burnley on the 6th of May, where he received a standing ovation before the game and was gifted the gold mini replica Premier League trophy he won during the 2003-04 for Invincibles season as a departing gift from Arsenal. He officially concluded his tenure with a 1-0 away win against Huddersfield Town. Wenger later revealed that he wanted to stay at the club until the expiration of his contract, but the club thought it better he leave, with the board informing him in January of their decision to end his contract at the end of the season. He described the hostility he faced from the board and fans as unjustified and his exit as very hard and very brutal.
Thanks for tuning into FA Cup Files, where every cup run holds a tale, and we're here to tell them all. From first whistles to last-minute winners, FA Cup Files will be here, uncovering football's finest. Subscribe and stay with us on FA Cup Files, where the magic never fades, and the legends live on.